Hello everyone, Brian here, and today I've got a game of Team Deathmatch for you on Berlin Wall. When I was looking over some of the games I had saved on my hard drive, not surprisingly, some of the best games I have are on the same maps, which are always Summit and Jungle, more Jungle than anything else. I seem to do so well on that map compared to all the other ones. But since I had just done my last video on Summit, and I've done some other ones on Jungle for you recently as well, I figured even though this gameplay score wasn't the most spectacular in the world, I figured I'd at least bring you something on a different map for once. But this video is really not going to be with the gameplay, as most of mine aren't. One thing I've wanted to talk to you guys about today that really just bugs me. I know a lot of people say, you know, what grinds my gears, or whatever your phrase may be about something that irks the hell out of you. I know most of the people in the States here are going to be fully aware of this topic. Some of you guys overseas may be aware of it as well, but maybe not as much so. And that would be the possibility of an NFL lockout again this year. I did just see they did a 7-day extension, and I was reading over some of the major issues, of course. And I listen to sports talk radio pretty much every day. That's my thing. I'm really not a big music guy. I always listen to sports talk, so I tend to be pretty informed on what's going on in the sports world. And I don't know how you guys feel with this topic, but seeing these billionaire owners and these millionaire players sit there and complain about money all the time just really pisses me off. These guys don't realize how good they have it. When I was doing a little bit of research before I sat down and did this commentary, I was mainly looking at a couple different things. One of them being what the league minimum salary was. And in the most recent year, the league minimum was $325,000 for the year of 2010. Now, I don't know about most of you guys. Speaking for myself and most people that I know, that's anywhere from 8 to 10 years worth of a salary for us working. And that's the league minimum for a rookie, which is pretty much like a 7th, 8th round pick or longer. And it goes up from there based on years of service. Now, say someone has been in the league for 3 years, and obviously this player is not going to be one of the most skilled guys. But the league minimum for someone with 3 years of playing experience is $550,000, which is more than 10 years of income for the average worker. And these guys want more money. I know a lot of people are going to say these guys are highly skilled athletes, and I don't disagree with that whatsoever. But how much money does a athlete really need to get paid? I mean, those numbers I just gave you guys were league minimums. Now, someone like a kicker is most of the time for a year, if you're a decent kicker, which you're barely ever out there in the field, you're making $3 million a year. Obviously, some of the highest paid players in the league are making like $16 million a year or more. And I just really find it difficult to justify that much money for an athlete. I mean, that's just my general opinion. I mean, I know some people in baseball are making, the top paid players are making over $20 million a year. And I think Albert Pujols from the St. Louis Cardinals wants to make $30 million a year. Who the hell is worth that kind of money per year to play a sport? And the worst part of this was I had heard, like I said, on Sports Talk and some other articles I read, that if there is a lockout, probably 1,000 or more players are going to run out of money. And some of them have already been talking to some of their higher paid teammates looking to borrow money. What did you guys do with that much cash? How could you possibly blow through that much money? I mean, are you that irresponsible? Are you that full of yourself that you have to have a couple $1 million house and 8 different cars because you're a football player? Some people said, and one of the former football players on the sports talk radio station I listened to said, oh, these guys are like 24 years old. They've never seen that much money in their life, so their first couple of years they tend to blow through it. Why? You're getting paid most of the time. These rookies are even getting over $1 million a year. And like I said, the lowest draft picks are still getting over $350,000 a year, and you're still blowing through that much cash, buying everything in sight. Are you really still that irresponsible? I mean, I know for myself personally, I bought my first house when I was 24. I was responsible. I saved my money. I bought my house. I renovated my house. I furnished it. And I did not live beyond my means. But apparently these players, no amount of money is ever enough for them. They decide they get offered a contract for $5 million a year, and it's not enough for them. They have to hold out and threaten not ever to show up because they want $7 million a year. I mean, at what point for an athlete is enough money enough? Like I said, I already disagree with how much money the highest paid players get paid anyhow to play a sport. I mean, I don't think any of them are worth, like I said, that top, $20 to $30 million range. I don't care if you're a highly skilled athlete or not. I don't think, for what you do, you're worth that much money just to play a game. But you would think these guys would be more than happy making a couple $1 million a year. Even if you're only in the league for, say, the average lifespan of a football player is like 5 years, you made $10 million at $2 million a year. That should be more than enough money for you to live a good life for the rest of your life. I mean, I know personally, if you handed me $1 million today, I probably would never work again. I'd be smart about it. I'd pay my bills. I'd invest the rest of it. And I'd live on that $1 million for the rest of my life. So, how much money do these guys really think they need? I think it's just incredible arrogance and incredible greed that they somehow think they hold some incredible relevance in the world and that we can't do without them. I'm a huge sports fan. I love it. I'm actually watching the Flyers game right now as I'm doing this with you guys. But if there is an NFL lockout, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it because these guys want more money. I couldn't care less. So what if there's no football this year? I'll survive. There's plenty of other things I can do to keep myself busy. Especially now with the state of the economy. In this country, 9 million people are out of work and many are losing their homes and losing everything they've ever acquired throughout life. And yet these athletes still feel they're not being paid enough. All I really have to say to all these greedy athletes is 2 words, and that's a big fuck you. But my rant will now come to an end as the video is now over. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I'll see you soon, and I hope you have a good one.